Hey guys, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Chanel Les 4 Ombres Byzance collection. This is a new collection that features 4 limited edition eyeshadow palettes from Chanel. I have 2 of the eyeshadow palettes, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts. This is not a first impression review. I have already used the eyeshadow palettes for the past couple of days because I wanted to experience the formula. This is a new formula, and I also wanted to address an issue that a lot of you not a lot of you, but some of you mentioned that there was an issue with the quality of 2 of the eyeshadow palettes, in particular the ones that I have. So the 2 eyeshadow palettes that I have are 328 Parure Cristal, and then the other one is 318 Parure Venitienne. So these are the 2 that I have. I'm going to share with you the positives and the negatives. As always, I'm going to talk about the formula, and I hope that I'm going to help you to decide whether you want to add these pieces to your collection or not. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I'd like to start with a few words about the collection, a few words about the inspiration behind the collection and what is specific about this collection, what makes it special, what makes it limited edition. The new Les 4 Ombres Byzance collection features 4 limited edition eyeshadow palettes, and Chanel's makeup atelier was inspired by Mademoiselle's jewelry pieces that feature bold combinations of precious stones. And if you take a closer look at each of the eyeshadow palettes, I think that overall, this collection, the 4 eyeshadow palettes that we have from this collection, I think are going to be suitable for all different kind of people. You have the more bold and adventurous eyeshadow palettes, which are 308 and 338. These 2 are absolutely beautiful. They are bold, they make a statement. And then you have the 2 other that are more subtle, and they are going to be suitable for people who have more neutral, more natural makeup looks, and also people with very fair skin tones. I think can use very successfully these pieces. I think that each of these color stories are suitable for all skin tones because the pigmentation is outstanding. And here is the issue that I wanted to address. Now, before this collection was released, I had some comments from you, and probably around 10 to 15 comments of people who acquired this makeup collection and some pieces from the collection in advance before it was released. And I was warned that the pigmentation is lacking, and basically these are not worth the splurge, and the quality of the eyeshadow palettes is horrible. And I was very afraid that this might be true, actually, because on Chanel's website, when I looked at the collection, I'm actually going on Chanel's website right now, I saw that there is a new formula of the eyeshadows, and on Chanel's website they say that these new eyeshadow palettes are made with mineral origin pigments and vegetable oils, which means that again, Chanel are going into the probably more clean direction, and that's why I was afraid that the colors might for real be less pigmented than we are used to. And this was going to be a huge disappointment for me, as it was for those of you who left comments and who messaged me on Instagram. This is not the case. I ordered my Chanel palettes from Chanel's website, and the quality is outstanding. It was mind-blowing. I was very, very surprised because I was actually, those of you who shared with me your first impression review, you lowered my expectations, but actually the quality is truly gorgeous, outstanding. It's exactly what you would expect from Chanel, nothing less than that. The colors are so soft, beautiful. When I touch them, I immediately get the color. I can use the eyeshadow palettes without a primer, just like I use all of my eyeshadow palettes from Chanel. They blend beautifully. I don't need to use a firm brush to pick up the color. I can use the softest brush and still I'm going to get the color, and a beautiful color payoff on my eyelids. And the swatches that you're seeing right now, I make all of my swatches with a dry hand, and I have very dry skin on my hands. Even right now I'm a little bit eczema prone. For some reason, my skin is getting drier as I get older, but I always swatch my palettes on dry hand and without any moisturizer, because I want you to see what is the actual color payoff that you can get from colors. Of course, if I moisturize my hand, my arm, you're going to get a lot more vibrant colors, but I think that this shows what you can really expect from Chanel. So it is the usual quality of Chanel. Now the formula is not exactly the same as the Tissé formula. I would say that the formula is a little bit softer even than the Tissé formula. With the Tissé formula from Chanel, which I love, it's my favorite formula, eyeshadow formula. With some of the colors you might need to use a little bit more firm brush to pick up the color. These are not, these are even softer. So it's not the case like, you know, that Dior recently reformulated their eyeshadow quints, and I have to say that even though I like them, some colors of Dior's eyeshadow quints, you definitely need to use a firm brush, and it's a little bit of a struggle to get it and to put it on your eyelid. And if you're not using a primer, they don't really show up. This is not the case with Chanel. The quality of the eyeshadows is 10 out of 10. I have been wearing them for the past couple of days. I did not want to film a video right away, right after I received the palettes. By the way, I buy my own makeup, all of it. The only PR that I ever receive from time to time is from Refer brushes, but I also buy them. So this is the only PR that I ever receive. So everything is purchased with my own money. The links that you see in my description box are affiliate links, and I would truly appreciate it if you decide to use them because this supports my work. So this review here, as well as all of my reviews, are not sponsored. I don't receive products from brands, and I experience the pain of paying money out of my pocket. And even more so because I'm based in Europe, and if I buy a product, if I open it, I don't have the right to return it. So it goes straight to makeup heaven when I don't like a product. So it's a real pain for me when a product is not a good quality, and I always make sure to share with you the customer experience, because I think that it's one way that you would appreciate a product if it was sent to you for free. It's a whole different story if you really have to pay the price for it. So in Europe, these eyeshadow palettes retail for around 66 to 68 to 70 euro. Which is the standard price recently for a Chanel eyeshadow quad. I know that in the US they are usually a little bit more affordable, a little bit, more affordable. Usually the prices in the US are a little bit better than they are in Europe. But in Europe it all depends on the country where you reside. But let's say it's around 67, I apologize, 67 euro. It's very early in the morning. I wanted to film this video quickly because I already spent a couple of days trying them, testing them, so that I can give you a good review. Now, the two eyeshadow palettes that I purchased are 328 and 318. Now, let's go ahead and start with 318. This is Parure Venitienne. Now, this collection was inspired by Chanel's jewelry collection, and that's why you have beautiful colors. You have different finishes in the eyeshadow palettes, or at least in the two eyeshadow palettes that I have, you have different finishes. As to be expected from Chanel, you have 2 grams of product here, which for me proves to be absolutely enough for me, and I use them for quite a long time. I want to give you close-ups, I want to give you a lot of swatches so that you can decide for yourself whether this is going to be something that you want to add to your collection or not. So this one is 318 Parure Venitienne, and I think that this one was inspired by Venice. The top 2 colors are what you would expect the classic finish of Chanel. These have a light sheen, they don't have glitters or visible shimmers, but they just have the most beautiful sophisticated sheen. Then this color here, the palest shade, this one is, I wouldn't say it's a topper shade because you can apply it all over the eyelid. So it has enough pigmentation, but it has tiny little glitters in it, which doesn't look very glittery when applied on the eyelids. I have it today on my eyes on top of the other colors, and as you can see, it's not glittery. It is exactly what you would expect from Chanel, just pure elegance. And then you have the deepest shade. Again, it has a very light sheen, but it's almost undetectable. So it's like a luminous color. Let's say the colors are luminous. They're almost like jewelry for real. Like they have luminosity, beauty, pure elegance, but they don't have visible shimmers on the eyelids. If you are a Chanel lover like myself, I'm sure that you're going to enjoy this collection a lot. And of course, I just wanted to comment on this. I am so sorry that some of you had negative experience with these eyeshadow palettes, but what I see and what I'm going to show you, the quality is just outstanding, purely outstanding. Then we're moving on to my favorite eyeshadow palette, and this is 328 Parure Cristal. It is so beautiful, breathtaking. So I have to say that I feel very sorry that this is limited edition, because this one is actually one of the eyeshadow palettes that if it was not a limited edition, it was going to be one eyeshadow palette that I'm willing to repurchase in the future. I have some Chanel eyeshadow palettes that I keep repurchasing and that I have been repurchasing over the years. These are some of the Tisse eyeshadows from Chanel, like let's say Tisse Rivoli, my all-time favorite, my most favorite palette. Then we have Tisse Camellia, Tisse Vendôme, Tisse Cambon. These are 4 eyeshadow palettes that I keep repurchasing with Chanel. Now regarding the formula, I just wanted to show you a close-up of my finger touching lightly the color, and here is how it looks on my finger. Now these colors are quite pale. I think that they are going to look most beautiful on people with fair skin tones. I think that people with medium to deep skin tones can use them as well, but these, of course, they are going to look subtle. The colors are just tender, elegant, beautiful. You can see how quickly I get the color without any pressing, without any pushing. I don't need to use a firm brush. I can very easily pick up the colors, and you can see how beautifully these look on my fingers. And then I want to go ahead and do the same thing with 318, which is Tisse Venitienne. I just want to quickly touch the colors so that you can see how easily the color sticks to my finger. So in terms of quality, they are excellent. Now I have to say that I'm a huge Chanel lover. I adore the whole makeup line of Chanel, and I've tried, I believe, everything with very few exceptions over the years. And my love for Chanel started with my very first eyeshadow palette, which was Tisse Rivoli. Up to date, it's my favorite. I even repurchased it yesterday, and it should arrive very soon. Should you buy any of these eyeshadow palettes, if you like the color story and if any of the color stories attract you, then definitely go ahead. I don't think that you're going to regret it. The eyeshadows are beautiful. If you are a fan of, let's say, more color, bigger eyeshadow palettes, the kind of Pat McGrath style, you may not appreciate them. So it's all up to you to decide. But in terms of quality, the quality is truly outstanding. And what could possibly be a downside of these eyeshadow palettes? I don't really know. As you can see, they come with a limited edition packaging with the gold Chanel logo. It's all a matter of personal preference, whether you're going to like this gold-plated base of the palette here. To me, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I prefer most of my eyeshadow palettes to be like this. But considering the fact that this is a limited edition collection that is dedicated to the jewelries of Mademoiselle, then it definitely makes sense for me that they made a more extraordinary packaging. So I think that it makes sense, and it's nice. It's a nice touch that they created something different. So it's all a matter of personal preference. Another downside is for me that this is a limited edition. I think that they created beautiful collection. I don't think that these should be limited edition, because like if you like it, you're losing the opportunity to repurchase this one, which is always a downside, because a lot of the beautiful creations from Chanel are usually going to be a limited edition. Now about the US, when these are going to be available in the US, they happen to be released first in Europe, which I'm so happy about, because we usually get our releases last with most brands. So in the US, they are going to be available very soon, maybe even today. I'm going to make sure to leave a link in the description box to inform you in the community tab of my channel when I see them online. And they are going to be available in Nordstrom. This is thanks to Emma for the information. I know that they're going to be available at Nordstrom in the US, and very soon, right now in August. And in September, they are going to be available on Chanel's website and probably in more retailers. I still don't have this information confirmed, but the official date is going to be September, when they are going to be widely available in the US. If you like any of the color stories, I would say go for it, buy it, because once they are gone, they are going to be gone and you won't be able to buy them. This is limited edition, so it's not part of the permanent line. Now I want to compare them to other eyeshadow palettes that I really love. So Clé de Peau recently came out with their whole new eyeshadow collection that I really love. I showed you the two eyeshadow palettes that I purchased, and I truly love them. They are so beautiful. The formulation is gorgeous. I definitely want that. Clé de Peau came out with a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I believe they came out with 10 or 12 eyeshadow palettes. I'm not really sure. I cannot confirm that, but I want a few more of these. Now, the Clé de Peau eyeshadow palettes have one base, one eye primer shade, and it's this one here in every palette. It's a little bit bouncy. It is, it has a light sheen. So here you're getting one shade that is supposed to be used as a primer, and it does work really nice. It's not your typical primer. It is not silicone based primer, or it's not going to add full coverage to the face or to the eyelids. I'm going to link to the video where I show you and where I demonstrate this. Now in the Clé de Peau eyeshadow palettes, again like Chanel, they have very beautiful sheen. The three other colors have very beautiful sheen. They are not matte, but they don't have really visible shimmers. Probably. No, they are exactly the same amount of sheen with Chanel. Now, when I touch them, when I touch Clé de Peau, to the touch, they feel a little bit softer when I touch them, and maybe a little bit more prone to possibly have some fallout, but I haven't experienced fallout. It's just a tiny bit softer. Whereas Chanel are a little bit more firmly pressed, but in terms of the amount of pigment that I get right after touching them, it is the exact same pigmentation. So in terms of quality, I would not prefer one over the other. I would say you have to keep in mind that here you have, one primer shade, which Chanel you don't have a primer shade, you have 4 colors. I would have both of these, and I don't have a preference. I think that choose here depending on what your heart says, what you want to wear, what is the color story that you love, and about the quality, don't worry, they are the same. The formula is not exactly the same. This is not like the exact same formula, but in terms of pigmentation, in terms of time that I wear them, staying power, they are the same. In terms of quality, they are the same. So I would say choose depending on what you like. Hi friends, it's early in the morning here. My hair is still wet, but I don't care. I can't wait to use this beautiful eyeshadow palette, and I think that today I'm going to start with my favorite, and this is 328 Parure Cristal. Now, if I could only pick one eyeshadow from this collection, this was definitely going to be it. I'm sure that I'm a little sad that this is actually a limited edition, because I think that this would have become one of my one of the Chanel eyeshadow palettes that I would repurchase. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this color all over my eyelid. And I'm using my trusted Chanel double-ended brush. Now, I've already done my base. I applied a light layer of foundation here and there, and a little bit of lip balm. That's it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and apply this color all over my eyelid. Probably zoom in a little bit. Now, my face has a little bit more color now because it is the end of the summer, but you can probably see now that I zoomed in, you can probably see that I can very easily get the color on my eyelids, and I don't have primer on my eyelids. I don't have anything, just so that you can see how beautifully everything applies. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this also on my other eye. I usually tap just a little bit of my foundation on the eyelids just to, just to make the color even of my eyelids with the face, but then I don't have any primer. And these eyeshadow palettes, these colors, they look so beautiful and they wear so nicely during the day. So the thing that I love about this eyeshadow palette is I still don't know how I feel about this ornament here, the gold one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't really like, this is one thing that I don't love. I don't not like it, but I don't love it. Let's say this is the one thing that I don't love specifically. I think that I would rather have it black, the classic one. But anyways, this is a limited edition collection, so I guess that it's a nice touch. And I really like the fact here that you can create multiple looks with this palette, because you can use the dark shade to create an evening look and a smoky eye. And creating a whole look with these colors, it only takes like a minute. It can take you a minute or a few seconds just to apply one and done eye color. And I'm going to use the palest shade. And this one is beautiful to be used alone as well. Sometimes when I'm in the mood like for a no makeup look, you can just use this color, and I've tried already that. So using only this color all over the eyelid and a little bit of kohl eyeliner just in the roots of the lashes, or even without the kohl eyeliner, and then mascara, it just adds a very nice sheen to the eye. They don't have shimmer. Only this is the color that has some shimmer, but you can choose not to use it if you want to. So that's it, and then I'm gonna go in with the dark shade here with a crease brush, and there is no fallout whatsoever, which is something that I really love, because you can safely do your whole base and you're not going to have to worry that you're going to have some fallout. So I'm going to apply a little bit the color in my crease, and oh my god, my eyeshadow brush smells like perfume. I have to replace it. Oh wow. It's been close to a fragrance. I have very sensitive eyes, so that's why I'm reacting in such a way, like, oh, fragrance. I think I want to keep the look very soft, so I'm not going to add more color here. Just going to use a little bit of this shade. I'm going to use it with my finger, and I'm going to tap it in the middle of the eye. And look, I'm not sure if the camera is catching this, but it immediately becomes so visible in real life. Just a touch here to make the look a little bit more sparkly, because this color, when I go out, it's going to catch the sunlight and it's going to reflect so beautifully the light. So you can choose to create multiple looks with this palette. I like the fact that you have this deep brown color, which gives you the opportunity to create a smoky eye and to really create this evening look. And then the top two shades, if you decide to use them as one and done eye colors, this is going to be a perfect no makeup look with a touch of like this rosy, sophisticated beauty of Chanel. The so-called Chanel je ne sais quoi, or what I like to call it. And I really like also this shade here, because it can add a touch of glam to your look, and it can add a touch of, let's say, romantic feel to the look, because this color here has some tiny little shimmers that reflect the light in a beautiful way, and especially the sunlight. Okay, so I tried using this white glittery shade on top for the first time. I like it, but I think that it makes the look a little bit more frosty. It takes away a little bit of the pink, which is a great touch, and it's great that you also have the option to use it or not to use it for every day. I think that I'm not going to use it just because I like the gentle rose without the topper shade. I'm just applying a little bit of kohl eyeliner only on the roots of the lashes and the outer part of my eyelid, and then I'm going to apply mascara. Blush will be my favorite Fantasy de Chanel. This used to be a limited edition. I feel a little bit sorry that they didn't make it permanent, but some of the most beautiful products from Chanel are usually limited edition, so if you want them, you have to grab them while they are available. Then for lips, I'm going to try two colors. I actually love these two. I haven't used this one in a while. This is the Rouge Coco Bloom in 124 Merveille. And then this one is Cécile. This is from the Rouge Coco line. So they are different formulations. The Rouge Coco Blooms from Chanel have this very intense pigmentation, very intense colors. It is a nice rosy color. My arm is quite tanned, as you can see right now, because I spent a lot of time outside. So the Rouge Coco Blooms are they have very intense color and they are very emollient. And this one is more sheer. This is the Rouge Coco from Chanel. This is Cécile. It's one of my favorite colors. This is more sheer in terms of color. I think that I might use this color. Let's try both and see. I think that I prefer Cécile, and then I'm going to use a little bit of highlighter. This is, again, from the limited edition spring collection. I think that these are still available in most countries. This is the Baume Essentiel in Lila. And I think that it's going to match beautifully with this look. And this is going to be my finished look. If I was not filming this look, it usually takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to create the whole makeup look. It's very easy, very quick, mostly because the eyeshadows from Chanel, they blend very easily. You don't need this whole cardio blending, and the colors are very forgiving, and the Chanel's makeup is very beginner friendly, which is something that I love because I don't want to spend too much time doing my makeup. I'm going to create more videos using these new eyeshadow palettes from Chanel. I actually think that this one, the one that I used today, the, let's say, 328 Parure Cristal, this one is going to be very suitable for the Barbie makeup look, for a Barbie inspired makeup look. Anyways, I think that the colors are beautiful. So last night I got a comment from one of you asking me to compare Parure Cristal to Tom Ford First Frost. This used to be a limited edition for a holiday collection of Tom Ford, like probably 4 years ago or so. I'm not really sure, I don't remember, but so I'm going to show you swatches. The First Frost eyeshadow palette from Tom Ford used to be from the Wet and Dry formula, which is my favorite formula from Tom Ford. The Wet and Dry formula from Tom Ford is a little bit different from Chanel's formula. Chanel's formula is a little bit more subtle, whereas the Wet and Dry formula from Tom Ford is more creamy, more pigmented. Some people prefer the Wet and Dry formula from Tom Ford, some people think it's too much. I never really use it wet because even when used dry, it is so intense. So those of you who are regular to my channel, you already know what I have in my makeup collection. So if there is anything that you would like me to swatch next to each other, I'm going to make sure to post it in the community tab of my YouTube channel. Just make sure to turn all notifications on, turn the notification bell on for all notifications so that you're going to receive a notification even when I post make a post in the community tab of my YouTube channel, because this is a very easy way to reply to comments and to post if somebody is asking for a certain comparison. And overall, I truly adore this makeup collection. I am not going to purchase the other two eyeshadow palettes because these are not color stories that I'm going to use, and for me it is not justified investment. I know that these two are colors that I'm going to use all the time, but then the other two I'm not going to use them, so that's why I'm going to skip. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video and for spending time with me, and until next time, bye!